if I'm a brand, obviously there are some things. You got your Caitlin Clark, you got star player, big school, great personality, perfect storm.
Sure.
If I'm a brand that maybe can't play in that space or doesn't want to, would like to zag while everybody's zigging, what are some characteristics about collegiate athletes beyond being number one, beyond being number one school? What are some things that brands should be on the lookout for that can really drive value for their NIL partnerships?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great question. Majority of our NIL deals are not at the Caitlin Clark level, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like we are doing tons of deals at all levels of athlete. If it's a brand and a brand is trying to figure out how do I engage in this space, understanding the connectivity to the student athlete, the personality of the student athlete, what they're drawn to. The best way, honestly, to do that usually is to look at the content they produce, right? And that's a lot of what we're trying to do is we want to make content that makes money for the student athlete, for the institution, for Learfield, but we also want to make content that shows off the personality of the student athlete. Ideally, it does both.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a brand and you're saying, how do I know what student athlete to work with? How do I know what makes sense for me here? I would start with looking at the personality, and that is often through content. The other thing I would say is making sure you're using we see this a lot. Some of the small, we have a lot of local deals. A lot of the smaller local deals that we see is the brand will maybe just put out a post. Local pizza shop just puts out a post, right? And it's like, oh, we'll just throw something up or whatever. Like that's not really going to move the needle. So thinking about not just how does the content and the athlete come together to promote your brand? How do you use media to ensure that brand reaches the right audience? If, depending on your budget, how does that expand beyond just content? Is there opportunities to do signage or more, expand with digital advertising? There's a whole host of ways you bring your whole package to bear. And the student athlete can still be in the middle of that. The student athlete's personality can still be in the middle of that. But just doing an Instagram post on student athletes' channels is not really going to move the needle.
Just to add to Grant, I'm going to plug his content team. The heart and soul of outstanding student athlete influencer marketing campaigns is school IP and content and the storytelling that's unlocked with the personality of these kids. And the university, we're discovering is the university communities can't consume enough of this content. When NIL and student athlete influencer marketing is involved in a campaign, it's 50% higher in engagement rate versus when NIL and student athletes are not part of that campaign. And what I think what we're learning is kind of the breadth and range of the storytelling of these 18 to 22 year olds and what they can bring to the table. And whether it's the Stanchion for Stanchion State Farm campaign that we've done, where the student athletes dribbling down the court talking about their favorite play, how they prepare for a game, their nickname, their superstition. University communities want that, right? And then we're producing the St. David's Hospital campaign at Texas, where it's born to be a Longhorn, and it's based on student athletes that were born in that hospital, and they're showing their baby pictures.
That's
and
awesome. The
engagement and the forwarding and retweets and on social media has been through the roof.
Fans are excited that student athletes get to do this now.
Yes.
There's like you see the comments that, I mean, again, not all comments are positive as sports fans tend to. But certainly go get yours. There's a lot of excited for you. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
excitement for, the student athlete to get to do something cool, get paid to do it. And, it's still important for that content to be authentic. That's the number one thing. I mean, if you, and we've certainly, strive, our content team's amazing. We have around 90 people all over the country producing content every day with student athletes. And that authenticity trumps pretty much everything else we do. If it's ever feeling like this is not authentic, it's not, feeling true to the student athlete, it doesn't work. That's the number one thing.
1,000,000%. Yeah. And it's come up in, previous episodes of On Scope, but there needs to be at least a category relevance for this thing to actually work. And I was thinking about the old days of pro athlete sponsorships, where it would just be a running back in full uniform holding
Reading
a
a script.
Pepsi,
Yeah.
saying, this is my soda of choice.
Sure.
Totally.
And yet, I don't know how much it worked in all reality back then, but
Well,
that
it
is
worked
certainly.
I was a Pittsburgh Steeler fan because of the Mean Joe Green kid, getting his jersey in the tunnel, right? I mean,
well,
that
was a beautiful emotional,
well, that was a storytelling
Absolutely.
content
Yeah,
piece,
yeah.
right? So those are the type of things that we're unlocking. But absolutely, there was some good stuff back in the day, and you could say Nike built their whole brand off of influencer marketing with Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods and Steve Prefontaine, right? And so college athletics is just experiencing this now, right? I mean, we were moving the transactional media for 50 years, and all of a sudden now we can incorporate these amazing student athletes into their storytelling, which amplify all our traditional assets and make them more valuable as well.
Yep.
Going back to one thing Grant said, there is definitely the younger demo, the 18 to 34-year-olds are leaning in our pro NIL. They're like, they are embracing the campaigns, and versus the older demo is a little bit more traditional. But that younger audience is completely accepting that student athletes should be paid for their name, image, and likeness, and the power of their brand, their personal brand that they can bring to these campaigns.